Good morning. Today is Wednesday, July 8th, 2020. It's approximately 10:16 a.m. and then Engrossment Rules, Resolution, and Credentials Committee meeting is called to order. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Alderman Vaccaro.
Present.
Alderwoman Howard. Alderwoman Green.
Present.
Alderman Todd. Alderman Todd, you're muted.
Present.
Chairwoman Tyus.
Present.
4 present, you have quorum.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. I'm sorry, Madam Clerk, I'm going to give you my job. We will wait for Alderwoman Howard. She usually does come and it's very timely. So I'm not going to do excuse Alderman, which is number 3. We're going to move to number 4, approval of the minutes. If you haven't had time, I'd ask you to take a few minutes to look over the minutes, and then I'd entertain a motion to approve the minutes of Wednesday, July 1st, 2020.
I'll make a motion we approve those minutes.
Second.
Alderman Todd, are you ready for the vote?
Yes. Previous roll. Yes.
No, we can't do previous roll yet. So here's what, Madam Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
Alderman Vaccaro.
Aye.
Alderwoman Howard. Alderwoman Green.
Aye.
Alderman Todd.
Aye.
Chairwoman Tyus.
Aye.
4 aye votes.
Okay, by your vote, we've approved the minutes. We're going to go a little out of order. We got a special occasion here. I'm so proud. We have 2 new alderman-elect and alderwoman-elect before us. There is a procedure for doing checking the credentials of new alder people. In the past, they just looked at their credentials. That's not what our rules charge us to do. I want to read into the rules what we're required to do and what I have been doing. And both of the Alderman Grass and Alderwoman Evans know it because I wrote them letters and back and forth. The Engrossment rules, the Engrossment Resolution Rules and Credentials Committee, besides doing the other things that we do and looking at resolutions, is also charged with examining the certificate of election of newly elected aldermen and report to the board on the validity of said certification, and on any other matter touching the qualifications of aldermen, be responsible for that. So besides looking at the credentials, we also have to look at if they fulfill the requirements to be an alderman as enumerated under the charter. Under the charter, the requirements for being an alderperson are in, I had it marked here, Article 4, Section 2 of the city charter. And the qualifications to be an alderperson says that no person shall become an alderman except he be a voter and at least 25 years of age. So I'm kind of suspect of those 2 people because I don't think they're quite 25 yet, but they got to be 25 years of age and shall have been before his election 5 years a citizen of the United States, 3 years a resident of the city, 2 years an assessed taxpayer of the city, and 1 year a resident of the ward from which elected, nor who shall have been convicted of malfeasance in office, bribery, or other corrupt practices or crimes. And if any alderman be so convicted or shall at any time not be a resident of such ward, he shall thereby forfeit his office. So we have to also deal with the charter. And the last thing we have to deal with is state law. So state law is pretty specific about what it says also. And one of the things that state law says, and I'm looking through all these papers, is that you cannot have been convicted of a felony. Here, let me make sure I read it to you, okay? before I get this, its state law says no person shall qualify for a candidate for elective office in the state of Missouri who has been found guilty or pled guilty to a felony under the federal laws of the United States of America or to a felony under the law of this state or an offense committed in another state that would be considered a felony in this state. So we have to consider that. And we also have to consider an ordinance that we passed, in fact, was sponsored by Alderman Vaccaro, which is Ordinance 70991, which requires that all candidates for elective public office to have paid in full before their filing or at the time of their filing the personal property taxes, the real property on property tax on properties located in the city, their earning tax, and their water and refuse bill. So we're doing it a little different. I do have the clerk has filed them online. We have the certificates of election for both Alderman Ingrassia and Alderwoman Evans. And we also, I did request from the Board of Election certain items, which always verified that they had each been in their citizen of the United States for 5 years, that they had been in their respective wards for a year, and that they fit the criteria to be an alderperson. I did, I think, send that just now to the clerk, and so and I'm going to email it to you. We had not gotten, I had requested from the clerk, because when you file your, with the Missouri Ethics, when you win an election, they call it a 30-day after report. But what happens is they make you file it before 30 days, and it confuses every new alderperson. And so both of the alder people had filed on, I think they said June 26th, and I have a link for that, and I will share that. So I was very thorough. They have paid their taxes. I got all of that from everybody. So there is no reason that we cannot report before the full board that they have met the full credentials to be an alderman and an alderwoman. But I would like to just take a few minutes if the alderwomen have anything to say, and then if anybody has any questions, I want to say something to them. So I'm going to start with Alderwoman Evans. You have to unmute yourself if you have anything to say to the committee.
I'm just glad to be here. I'm elated to be here, to finally be, I guess, sworn in, or whatever that looks like. I really didn't hear everything you said because someone was talking to me off to the side.
Okay, well, what I just said, congratulations. I said I had vetted you fully, and you know how I vet people. So I had made sure that everything was in place. Now, people have put out misinformation.
Yes, you do.
You know me. I sent you letters, and then I went to get everything to make sure that it was correct. You know I'm going to do that. And you're my friend, okay?
Right. That's right.
And I did it for both of you. So that's what I was saying, that I had gotten the information. And what I said is that I had not gotten it from the Missouri Ethics Commission. So this morning I got up at 8 o'clock. I was on their phone saying, hey, where's this information? Which they emailed to me this morning. So I wanted to make sure. And I was talking about that a lot of times with the 30 days after, that confuses new alder people because they think it's supposed to be 30 days, but our rules require, and Missouri ethics rules require that even though it's not 30 days after, before you can be sworn in, we have to have that. So I got that myself since we didn't have that. Yeah. That's what I was saying. Okay. So
I was
anything
told
else
early on to don't wait 30 days, file it ASAP. So that was what I did.
Okay. Well, welcome aboard. I look forward to seeing you swearing in. And I look forward to working with you. And I want to see if any of the committee members have it. If any of the committee members have anything they want to say, or Alderwoman Green.
Yeah, I'll just say welcome to the Board of Aldermen. You're joining us in a very interesting and lively time, as you know, there's no better way to learn than kind of by just jumping head first into the fire. So, welcome, and also know that, we're here as resources. I think back to, my time getting on the board 6 years ago, and, remembering that Alderwoman Tyus and Alderwoman Ingrassia were really great in kind of mentoring me and making sure that I knew like where the bathroom was and, all the basics. And so, never hesitate to reach out, even under the most like mundane things of, constituents calling me with this thing and I have no idea who to even talk to about it. So,
Yeah.
use aldermen as resources. Don't be afraid to ask us, because chances are, even if you get a very strange request, we've had that same strange, request at some point in our time. So.
Okay, well, that's good to hear and to know that I can rely on you guys to help steer me in the right direction. And if I have questions, that I feel comfortable with coming to you for answers.
Okay, Alderman Todd, did you have anything you want to say?
I would just like to congratulate both Alderwoman and Alderman. Also, especially Gwendolyn and I served on the Democratic City Central Committee for many years. So again, I'm looking forward to working with both of you all. Again, congratulations.
Yes, thank you, Jesse, and I as well, because I know I can come to you if I need answers to questions, because you've always done that in the past. So thank you, and I appreciate that.
Okay, thank you again.
Alderman Vaccaro, have anything you want to say to Alderwoman Evans?
No, just congratulations to both you guys. Look forward to working with you. It's interesting and frustrating and not frustrating all at the same time. So be ready to go to work.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Alderwoman Grass, you have to unmute yourself. I'm sorry, Alderman Grass. I'm sorry. I'm prejudiced. I'm going to get that right. Alderman Grass, welcome aboard. I look forward to your swearing in, and I just want to give you a minute if you have anything you want to say to anybody.
Well, I'd just like to say I'm happy to be here and I'm ready to get to work. And I've been watching everything for about the last month or so. So I think I know what I'm getting into, kind of, but probably not really. Yes, it's going to be really interesting and probably frustrating as well, but I'm up for the challenge. I'm ready to go. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Alderwoman Green. You have anything to say to Alderman Grass? I got to keep saying that, Alderman.
I don't think anything further. I think what I said a few minutes ago was really, directed at both of you, and just don't hesitate to reach out, because we're here as resources. And, we might get out on the floor, but at the end of the day, we all still need to be able to have a glass of wine together, or cocktail, or tea, or coffee, whatever you're choosing.
Works for me.
Alderman Todd, you have anything else you want to add?
I know what I said earlier, it goes for both Alderwoman and Alderman.
Thank you.
Okay, Alderman Vaccaro.
No, nothing.
Okay, ladies, you are welcome to stay. Well, I'm going to entertain a motion that we pass out to the full board of aldermen the verification of the credentials of, and if you all didn't get a chance to look at the credentials, they are on our Google Docs, that we pass out the verification of the alderwomen as meeting all the criteria and to be an alderman and alderwoman elect in the city of St. Louis so that they can be sworn in.
I'll make that motion. I did see it. I read it.
Second.
Previous roll.
Any objections to previous roll? Hearing none, we have certified that you are both qualified and meet all the qualifications to be an alderman and alderwoman, and we look forward to working with you. And you're welcome to stay, but I did you first. There was a request from the president's office, so I did you first So I know they're going to probably try to swear you in today, but we really have to give a report before they're supposed to swear you in. So just to know this, because people keep putting this false information out about me, is that, oh, I'm holding you up. This was all the stuff that we had to get, and I was letting you know. I didn't think I had to let everybody know what we were doing. We have to give a report to the full board before they're supposed to swear you in. And again, I'm a very much rules person, okay? So both of you all were getting the same letters for me and the same contact, and I look forward to working with you, not for you, okay? So we will give that report. All right. Okay. All right, we're going to get back on track here. I want to take a minute. Can we mute all the mics except Alderman Todd? Okay. Alderman Vaccaro, somebody's got a feedback. Alderman, thank you. I want to just take a few minutes to address something as the chairman of rules, the chairwoman of rules. I am very much a rules person. I don't cheat on either side. If it falls on the side against me, if you ask me, I'll tell. If it falls on the side for something I'm supporting, I'll say that too. I think the other week we saw that I am not for the airport deal, but when asked a question about there needing to be a fiscal note, I would have loved for that to be what I believe to be, but I didn't say that. I do not say what I don't believe to be true. And I believe that the responsibility of the rules, and especially as the chair, is that you follow the rules, and that when people are breaking the rules or not following the rules, that in fact it says I'm supposed to be enforcement of the rules. I sent out a letter to a few days ago to the president because there is a meeting scheduled later today that is an illegal meeting. It was not called correctly. I have not gotten a response. What I got was then attacks from people lying to Elliot Davis about what has occurred in my committee. Anything that I do, I will own it. But when you just bald-faced to tell a lie, it was real easy for me to show to Elliot Davis and to other people that it was a bald-faced lie. And so they said I was holding up the CARES Act. You guys who've been here know, Alderman Todd and Green, you know that the last week we did like 30-something bills, okay? You also know that I had called 2 special meetings that were supposed to be addressing the budget. And I did that in connection with working with the president's office because he had said we were going to have a special meeting. He called an extra meeting for the budget, and then we didn't address the budget. And I had called these meetings only for the budget, and then they didn't get done. So that put us behind in what we were supposed to do. But we pretty much caught up to what was supposed to be done, except for the new things that had been sent into our committee. I don't even look into the future of what's sent to our committee because we always have a lot to do in our committee, and we work really hard. And I've always bragged on you about what a good job we do. What people don't know is that besides everything that we do, because we're in a Zoom meeting and we don't go down to the Board of Aldermen, I actually then now am printing the green copies off at my house. I was running down, picking them up, bringing them back, and then bringing them back to the board, and that was too much. But I have high-speed printers at my house, so I actually print off the official green copies that we enroll. Maurice and I meet someplace and to exchange them so that they're prepared for the president and the clerk and the mayor to sign. That means that I have been at the board on holidays. When the break was on, we came back early to address things. We call all the people who we get board bills all the time that are not correct. As recently as 2 weeks ago, we had one by Alderman Boyd that was the recorder of deeds pay bill, part of his not pay bill, but it was his I think his bonus bill, and it had the wrong ordinances in it. And I caught it. I called the alderman up. I pointed it out to him. And then he said to me, well, I didn't read it. Well, I caution alder people, when you sponsor bills, you should read them. We actually had to have Del Rousset and Mr. Wilson come to our meetings early on because there were so many problems and errors in the board bills we were getting that were from HUDs that were often the development bills that when they came, they were surprised at the amount of work that they needed to do, which I want to give them credit. They have been cleaning them up and they are a lot better. But there are still things that the people who sponsor bills should be doing, and also the committees where they come out of. When they come out with these kind of mistakes, it indicates to me that the committees have not been doing their job. Somebody didn't read Alderman Boyd's bill, and he didn't either. So then we had to clean that up. There was never any correspondence with me about what, I wanted to get this done. And so then there was just like a lie, okay, about that. But unfortunately for him, the recorder of deeds knew what I did, because I actually called him and he said, I know you called, and I had to call him to get the correct information, which I did. So I will own what I'm holding. I'm not ashamed to tell you if I'm holding a bill. I will hold a bill. We have 30 days, just like everybody else, to get things out. That's why we have a calendar. That's why we have an agenda. So you have to follow it. You have to get your bills out in a timely fashion. And then you have to be careful of what your mouth says. When you make disparaging remarks about North St. Louis, you don't encourage me to do any favors for you. I want you to know that. If you talk about you scared to come to my community, oh my God, I am still getting messages from people who said, thank you for speaking up for somebody who says they're scared to come to our community. I would never say that about anything else community. And I think people need to watch their mouth when they're talking about whole communities. That's called stereotyping, and that's called racism. And that irritates me. Also, we have the same rights as other committees. Besides the 30 days, we can vote things up, down, do not pass, just like everybody else. We have done such a good job of trying to pretty much push things through. That has not been the case for us at all, being fair. If you don't agree with the tyrants of the majority, which they get together and think everything is supposed to be their way, then it is roughshod over the rules, roughshod over the procedure, and then whining about how come I can't have it my way. A couple of years ago, I tried to get my seniority back, and an alderperson famously said to me, I think you should get it, but I wanted to be the chair of public safety. So I just voted no because I wanted it. Don't be mad at me. Okay. I hear you. I'm not mad at you, but I heard what you said to me. And so that colors everything that I hear from you after that, because what I hear is that you don't care about my community. You don't think my community should be treated fairly. And then you make disparaging remarks. Then you go whine to Elliot Davis about it. I don't care if Elliot Davis does lies on me, because it's so easy to prove what you're saying is a lie. So I proved it up this morning on Facebook. Everybody's sharing it every place. Everybody's calling the people who put it out lies and idiots, because they know me. I am very much a person who will say, yeah, I'm holding that up, and this is why I'm opposed to it. And if you don't like it, then you should treat me with the same care that you want to be treated with. I say this all the time, is that if you don't want me to treat you the way you treat me, then don't treat me that way. And I won't. I am not the person that goes about misusing people. But if you think that everything is about you and not about anybody else, and that we're not all down here doing the best that we can, and that we all bring different viewpoints and try to work together and compromise, then shame on you. So running to Elliot Davis and telling him lies, because Elliot knows I will claim anything. I've known him for 30-something years. I'm not scared to say what I'm doing, and will tell you what I'm doing. But when you try to make up lies about I'm holding up the CARE Act bill, which has only been in our committee 7 business days, that is not holding up. And I really didn't even know what was in that next group of bills, because I was so busy trying to get the other things done, and reeling from the fact that the president had me call 2 special meetings for the budget, and then we did not even address the budget. And that those are the kind of things that make people really disgruntled with politics. So if you're going to tell a lie on me, make sure you tell a lie on me that cannot be proved in 2.5 seconds, because they actually do post the legislative history online. And so it's real easy to pull it up and show that that was a lie. So the question becomes then, what is your point of lying like that? Why would you tell a lie like that? That's embarrassing to do that kind of thing, and they ought to be ashamed. I'm also ashamed that I haven't got a response from the president about his illegal meeting that he's having later today. It puts us in the place of go to an illegal meeting, and try to fight what's going on or not go there, and then they're just going to push through without any pushback. It is ridiculous. The president ought to be the main person who should be following the rules. I sent the letter to everybody. It's very clear. I'm going to release it next to the press. I am going to call on the president to cancel that meeting that he's having later today. It is not called illegally. It is not within any bounds of our rules. And he lectures people all the time from his podium, quote unquote, because we don't have a podium right now, about following the rules and how hard it is. But yet you're trying to push through this airport deal and you're running roughshod over our rules. I hope that everybody understands that the rules are put in place not just for the majority who can always win, but for the minority who has to fight to make sure they get a fair chance at things. So I just wanted to make that clear that if you come for me, I will come for you. If you tell lies on me, I will tell the truth on you. So please don't go out and lie. And anything that you have a problem with me, if you ask me, I will say, yep, not doing that. Like I will talk about Alderman Boyd whining, but been holding my board bill in committee since, when did it go in there? April or early May, and then let it stay in committee, the same bill from last term, asked me to update it, and it's all about the speed humps. And then after I updated it and sent it to him, wouldn't do anything about it. So, you know, don't go lying about me. I will tell you what I'm doing, and I will own it. But if it's a lie, I will not claim that. So I just want to make that clear. And we have rules for a reason, and they're not being followed by the president. And the meeting that we had a couple of days ago was actually illegal, but nobody asked me to do any research or to say anything, so I didn't, and we participated in that. And then the president has set another illegal meeting for next week. They are all illegal meetings. And we don't need a set of rules if we're just going to do what we want to. Everybody should just do what they want to. And that's what I want to make clear. So I did send that letter to each of you all. If there are any questions about the letter or anything like that, I'd be glad to answer them. But again, I haven't got a response. I called the president. I texted him. He made a big thing when people challenged him about, which he could have done it the correct way last week when people properly challenged him about, well, it don't make any difference if you're here or not, because you can still get online and participate. Well, but people have other things that they've planned. I actually have planned to leave right after this and go because my mother's birthday is tomorrow. And so I was going to spend time with that. So you just change that up. I'll be on the highway. I'm not going to be on a Zoom meeting and on the highway. And then the careless disregard about the Alderwoman from the 11th talking about child care issues and things like that. I thought we had gotten so past that. That's just sexism 101. I don't have children, but all children are important to me. And so if we're not going to follow an agenda and schedule, we're just going to be at the whim of the president of the Board of Aldermen to call a meeting anytime he wants to and not follow the rules. And you're only happy with me and say how I'm a rules person when I rule in your favor. But when I tell you you're doing wrong, you don't want to do right, we don't have a democracy. We got a dictatorship. And I'm embarrassed, and I don't want to participate with that. And I'm calling on President Reed to cancel this meeting this afternoon and to set the meetings as required under the rules of the Board of Aldermen. And with that, if anybody has any questions or wants to say something, you have a right. Excuse me, Alderman Vaccaro, I will always recognize every alderperson on this committee. If you let me know, but you cannot speak out, and then you will have equal opportunity to speak, okay? All right? All right. But I do go in.
By seniority, I have seniority, but how?
No, that's not how I go. That's how you go. That's not what I do. I go first by, your dog is barking.
I know, I'm gonna have to.
Please mute yourself. Okay. Thank you. Alderwoman Green, do you have anything to say?
So I do. I guess I have a question. When looking at our rules and the definition of the Engrossment Rules, Resolutions, and Credentials Committee, the very last sentence says is that this committee is responsible for the enforcement of the rules adopted by the board. So it seems to me
Correct.
that it come under our purview to forward a complaint if the rules of the Board of Aldermen are not being followed, and it would come under our committee to do that investigation as to whether this meeting is out of order enough. And I appreciate you sending the very thorough legal memo. I went through it. I looked at the charter, I looked at our rules, and definitely reached the same conclusion that you did. But it does seem as though it comes under the purview of this committee to investigate and enforce the rules.
So why I sent the letter, because I did it as the chair, but if you would like to do something more collectively, I am open to that. We can do our own investigation. We can ask the president to come before us. I doubt he will, but we can anyway. What if you have suggestions? I'm open to them, because I am just furious that the president is ignoring my letter as the chair of engrossments, okay, and rules. That is the whole point, is that we have to have somebody, even to the president of the board, that he listens to and says, this is not a legal meeting. This is not a meeting pursuant to the rules. So if we want to do a resolution from the rules committee, we can do that. If we want to write a letter jointly, we can do that. I am open to what we should do, because I don't think we should let this go on indefinitely as though I can just do what I want to.
Correct. And I would be fine with sending a letter. I also do find it troublesome that, you know, your letter went out almost 24 hours ago and we have not received a response back from our board's legal counsel or the clerk with regard to the issues that were raised in it. And it seems to me that we should have that opinion definitely before this meeting moves forward this afternoon.
So, and I'm going to let everybody speak, and then I got a suggestion that we can entertain a motion that we send a letter to the clerk, the president, and our legal counsel with our response. If that's not just for me, but from the rules committee. So, but I want to let everybody else get a chance to put what they have to say. Okay. You have anything else?
That is it for now.
Okay. Alderman Todd. You have anything? I can't, you have to unmute yourself.
I think we should follow be consistent and follow the rules with everyone.
All right. Okay, Alderman Vaccaro.
Okay,
You need to remute yourself, Alderman Todd.
I'd like to address your comments. One, in that meeting, if you go back and listen to it, I was defending that the money is not spent in North St. Louis. I was defending that the ward capital is not done properly, saying about the larger roads needing more money and it's harder to get stuff done. So you misinterpreted everything I did. And I was doing that because I agree with John and Tamika and some of the other older people that there are a lot of needs up north that are not being met. And you misinterpreted, and I would ask you go back and look. The other thing I will say, you always tell me you're fair, even if you disagree with something. My Board Bill 29 should be out. It's very much time sensitive. Anything we do to hold that in committee will kill that bill. And if that's your intention, then I guess that's what'll happen. But I generally get along very well with you. And I will say that you've told me time and time again that you don't take personal feelings into consideration, although you said that. And again, go back and look at that meeting. That was in defense of the ward capital, saying that, yes, my ward can get by without it, but there are wards in North St. Louis that cannot get by without it. Saying that these are things that need to be done. Go back and look at the meeting. Anyway, I would say if you believe in the rules and you believe, even if you're mad at me, I would like to pass Board Bill 29 out of committee because it's the right thing to do. That's really all I have to say.
Okay, Alderman Vaccaro, I purposely didn't say your name, but if you will go back and listen to the video, I told you right then and there that was incredibly racist what you said. You may not have heard that, okay? I said that then. Wait. I'll let you finish, okay? And then me and you, we can have a conversation. I'll let you finish, and then you can say. So people can be saying nice things to you and still say racist things. Oh, I'm scared to be up there. This is the kind of thing, like little colored person, pat me on my head. I really would want to, and I told you at the time, I don't think that you mean to be, but that was incredibly racist. It would be akin to me saying, oh, I'm scared to go to the hills. Those Italians are over there, and I'm scared of it. I don't do things like that. I don't say things. I don't do big general things like that because it is insulting to communities. And when white people say they're scared to come to North St. Louis, I don't know why. Because white people don't get killed in North St. Louis. I put that thing to Elliot yesterday, that very question, because I talked to him at length about the misinformation that you guys put out. And he was embarrassed because I was so easy to show him it wasn't true. And so I asked him, so you're in the media, tell me about some white people that get killed up in North St. Louis. And he can list maybe one in the last many, many years, because they don't. And it was somebody doing a drug deal, okay? So when I hear white people talking about they're scared to come to North St. Louis, and by the same token, because when I moved to South St. Louis in the 70s, Black people told me, oh, why are you moving to South St. Louis? I was never scared to live any place in North St. Louis. I've lived in the Central Quarter. I've lived in South St. Louis. I lived in North St. Louis. There are good and bad places in all. I do not like stereotypes of my community, which is predominantly Black. That gets on my last nerve. And so what you were saying, although you were in defense of one part, in another part, you were incredibly condescending and racist. And I said that right after you said it. I said, Alderman, I know you don't mean to be, but hear yourself, okay? Listen sometimes. Maybe you don't hear what you're saying, okay? But I did, and a lot of people in my community heard it. So you could take it as, oh, she's just mad at me, or you could take it as, maybe I'm saying something that is coming out the wrong way. You could take it any way you want to. I am offended by that. As far as Board Bill 29, so if you look at the prior meeting, you will know I voted no on all of it. And I also said before Carol got mad and left, the Alderwoman from the 14th got mad and left, that even though I was going to vote no against it, that other people, I was going to still open it up. She couldn't get a second. So when you want to blame it on me, go back and look at that committee hearing, and you will see that I did put it open. So did you know that? Did you know I opened it up for a vote?
No, and to be honest with you, Elliot came to me wanting to know what's going on. I said, I don't know. It's hung up in the rules of engrossment. Sharon's mad at me. And again, if that seemed racist, I apologize, but that was not.
That's not racist. No, that wasn't what I said was racist.
I'm talking about the comment that you said that you feel was racist. I said that in defense, not, and if that seemed racist, then I will apologize. But I get it. There needs to be more services north. There needs to be, I was defending why you sit on $2 million because you got roads that take $2 million.
No, I don't sit on. So that's incorrect. You should stop making statements. I'm not sitting on it. The BPS has been holding up what I want to do. I'm not sitting on it. They've been doing all kind of legal things, which when I tell you stuff, I can share it with you. I've been wanting my money to be spent for years now, okay? It's supposed to be going for speed humps, and it's supposed to be going for curbs. BPS, which steals $1.3 million of our money off the top and then doesn't do anything, is not doing what they're supposed to be. And I can easily prove that. That's why I have this pot of money.
You don't have to prove it to me. I can tell you for a fact. Sidewalks that haven't been done for 2 years, alleys, streets that are paid for, finally LED lights, trees. You're not telling me. And then when I called BPS, they say, oh, we sent the streets. After a year and a half, I got a phone call from Zach because I got mad at the mayor and started screaming and saying, look, and you're not telling me anything I don't know. I'm just telling you, I was trying to defend you, but whether or not you take it however you want to take it, I've always considered you honest, and I really want to get Board Bill 29 out, and we can have this conversation on the side anytime
okay.
we want.
Again. So last week I opened it up. Carol made a motion. So when you say you didn't, and I said from the beginning I wasn't going to vote for it. I didn't vote for the stadium, but the committee did. You saw yourself that when Jeffrey Boyd insulted my committee, they disagreed with me. His bill still went out, didn't it? Right? Okay. So what I'm saying is, when you make these statements, get your facts straight, okay? Because Carol didn't get a second. You'll get it?
No,
what happens when you don't get a second?
I'm fine. Well, hopefully we can do that today and get a second. I would really appreciate getting this out. It's very time sensitive.
So let me say, I'm still not voting for it. I'm not for, before you even became on this board of aldermen, I have always been against people moving out the city. Just like you get a right to run public safety, which I was the chair in 2002, by the way. If I didn't get cheated, I still would be the chair of that committee. Just like you get a chance. What I want you to do is understand that you and your committee do all kinds of things that people on my committee may disagree with, but you do it. Then you don't give us the same rights. Then you think, oh my God, how can they do that to us? How can you do the same things to us? Do not treat people any differently than you want to be treated. All of us here who are on this committee besides you, we don't support that bill, okay? So people forgot that there is more than one committee this bill had to go through. Nobody tried to say, is there something we could do that would make this more palatable to you? Nobody came. You guys can just rush things through, have illegal meetings. That I'm bringing up that the president is having an illegal meeting. You did not call me and say, well, I want this meeting, but okay, if it's illegal, I know you to be truthful. Can we all get together and just stop this meeting? So I'm just telling you is that you cannot have it both ways. If you want me to be truthful, I will. I truthfully do not support this bill. Go back and look at the meeting from last week, and then what you said is not true again. Okay, that's what I'm saying.
Can I ask a question?
Sure, you can.
Isn't it the duty of this committee to decide whether everything's in the proper format and pass it along, that it's not, well, I don't like that bill. Otherwise, every bill could be stuck here. If the bill is in its proper format and there's no reason legally to hold this bill in this committee, why would it be held? The personal, whether you like it or don't like it, should not be the issue on this bill. The issue should be, if it's in its proper format, then it should be moved on to the full board. And I look at Rule 65, you know, of the charter, I mean, of our rules. And I'm not going to argue it, but this, if the bill is in its proper format, which it is, it should be sent back to the board for whatever meeting, today or tomorrow or whatever. And personal feelings should not be put in it. I have hearings on everyone that wants, you know, I don't say, even in public safety, if they have something that they want to hear, we hear it. And so anyway, my personal feeling is that this committee has a duty, if it's in its right format, to move it along.
Thank you so much for your personal feelings. That's what keeps getting in the way, your personal feelings. And then you say, but don't put my personal feelings in it. But you told me personally, I shouldn't have. I let you finish. I let you finish. And I let you finish. So I'm going to always let you finish, and then I'm going to talk. We're not going to talk over one another, okay? So you just talked about personal feelings. You told me I should have my seniority, but you personally wanted to keep public safety. So therefore, you had to make sure I didn't get my seniority. But please don't be mad at you. I don't know how you didn't think I would be mad at you. I'm still took up for you many times and been fair to you many times. But yes, I'm mad that you would tell me that. I would prefer you to say you shouldn't have it than, yeah, you should have it, but I'm so selfish that I want it for myself. So I had to do that. So that's what I heard from you when you said that. Going on, I still went ahead. Our rules gives every committee the right to vote up and down. What you guys are mad about is you didn't read the rules, that you only want to read part of them, and then you want to get a interpretation for yourself, and you never read the rest of them. So read all of them. It does not exempt out rules, engrossment rules, resolutions, and credentials committees from voting things up and down. You just never knew that. For many, many years ago, before rules was done incorrectly, this committee was one of the most powerful committees for the very reason I just told you, okay? Because they had final say about things. Mostly, we do not get in the weeds, okay? Mostly, we have pushed out a lot of things that we held our nose and voted for. We have pushed out the stadium bill, which many of us don't agree with, and other things like that. But once in a while, there is something that we just fundamentally don't agree with. Now, I told Alderwoman Howard last week, so go listen, is that we'll bring this back up again. I can be outvoted. Okay, but just because you saying that, please read entirely. There is no place that exempts out engrossment rules, resolution, and credentials from doing the very thing that your committee does. Take no action, do not pass, pass. So those are the same things, okay, that you do. Okay, we also have that. So just because you think that we don't have that does not make that true, all right? And I would not cheat. We just don't use it most times. And most of the time, we just go ahead and do everything. But what you want us to be is have no say-so in the Board of Aldermen, and you have all of the power. And just like you got elected, I've been elected longer than you, okay? And I lost my seniority because of some BS racist gerrymandering, because they couldn't put up with that I knew things and I built things every year for my community. But I'm back here. I still am not cheating you. Bring me the rules that say, bring it out, the rules that says engrossment rules, resolution, and credentials does not get to pass anything out with a do pass recommendation, a do not pass, that we cannot vote things up and down, that we do not have to give a second. We are charged with the same powers that your committee is. We have just been so good that you have mistaken our goodness and our ability to work really hard for weakness. We are not weak. We really do believe in everybody getting a fair shake and trying to be fair with people. I, like you, don't believe this is going to be a winner. But just don't go along as bullies against us and think that we are not going to be standing back up. If you want to be a bully against us and go along with breaking the rules, you either are for, if you want us to follow the rules, then you should be joining with us in telling President Reed that he is having an illegal meeting and should not be having it. Those are the kind of things. And when President Reed is jumping on you and being unfair to you, I'm the first person jumps up for you, Alderman Vaccaro. I even have had a reconsideration of the vote when President Reed wasn't fair to you. And so I'm asking for all the people who want to come before our committee to be the same fair with us. That's all I'm saying to you. You want consideration, give me consideration. And if you can't give it to me, don't ask it from me, because I am not coming to this war unarmed. If you are armed with me with saying I can violate everything that is about you, then I do not treat you any better. I'm not going to cheat you. And if you can quote where it says that we don't have the same voting power as you, bring it.
So under Rule 65,
if
you want to read it, says,
okay, I'm getting it out. Hold on.
Okay, get it out. I got an opinion from Lou Golly. I don't know if Lou's on, our attorney, who told me, and also I saw the clerk on here. Terry Kennedy, are you here? Is Terry on this still? Both said that when something is sent to rules and engrossments, they have to the next meeting to get it engrossed and report it back to the Board of Aldermen.
Which we have done.
Unless there's a change, and then it's 3 days. Read 6, and I believe it's 65.
I've read it, and we did that already.
So it's engrossed and just sitting here, or what?
It's engrossed. It sure is. That's what the rule says. It has to be engrossed. And it has been engrossed. What are you talking about?
And reported back to committee
And
To
it's,
the
and I
full
did, no, in it, and I send a report. So I send a report every week. I send it to the chair, the president, and for him, he actually, I think, start putting them out on the what do you call the thing?
So we can vote on.
So I send a report. I sent a report. I've been doing it. So other people wasn't doing it, but I actually do send a report.
So it's engrossed, and now, so we can vote on it at the Board of Aldermen.
No, it's engrossed. There's another process called enroll.
So anyway.
So do you read that it's the engrossment?
The biggest majority of the aldermen voted for these things.
I understand.
And I feel that
I understand.
because you're mad at me, you're going to hold this up.
How am I holding? Okay, one more time. Since you keep putting that lie out, I want you to go back and look. I actually let her make a motion. Go look at it.
Okay.
I told her I was not going to vote for it. I am not. My vote is still my vote. So is everybody on this committee. Okay. She did not get a second. You all think that's perfectly okay when you do it. Then you don't like it. There's no reason for many of the things that you do that shouldn't go a different way, except for that's your opinion. That's called having influence in different places. Okay. So that's what you cannot say. You have all the influence, and I'm not going to argue with you because you have not come up with anything that I violated the rules, and you're not going to, because I'm not going to violate the rules, okay? And we have 30 days to get this bill out of committee, which in 30 days, it will be out. Now, if that messes up what you're going to do, that's not my fault. That's why we have an agenda and a calendar. That's what I want you to understand. So what you need to do is get your stuff up so there's nobody that can do that. And if you don't get mad at people and say, well, you're not helping me along, even though I didn't help you along. Learn the rules and the calendar. That's what it's there for.
So if nobody...
I have 30 days in the committee. I have 30 days. I have 30 days to get this out of committee. And so if you can show me where I have held this up 30 days, then I will make sure this gets out of committee. But you will not, because it has not been in my committee. And so you're not talking over me. And so I'm going to now move on to something else. And when you find the rule that says, and show me where this bill has been in committee over 30 days, then me and you, I will do exactly what it's supposed to be. But right now, it has not been in committee for 30 days. I would suggest that you go talk to your friend, Jeffrey Boyd, where the bill that you and I sponsored has been in can you please mute Joe Vaccaro? Please mute Joe Vaccaro. I am the chair and I am asking you to mute Joe Vaccaro. Thank you very much. You will not talk over me. Okay. Now that we have gotten that, sorry, but sometimes you just have to make sure that people are putting out misinformation, shouldn't be doing that. We're going to go on to the calendar, Board Bill 51. So we're going to go to Board Bill 23. Let's see what this is. And we're going to go to engrossment. So we're going to go to, Board Bill 23 by Alderman Jeffrey Boyd. It's an ordinance recommended by the Parking Commission making appropriations for payment of the operating expenses, capital expenses, including lease, purchase agreements, and debt service expenses of the Parking Division of the Treasurer's Office for fiscal year July 1st, 2020 through June 30th, 2021. In the sum of $17,560,584, including $1,930,335 for capital improvement and containing an emergency clause. And these are board bills for engrossment.
Sorry, Alderwoman Tice, which number is this?
It's number 3. On the board bills for engrossment to engross Tuesday, June 23rd.
Sorry. Trying to find the right folder here.
Okay. I printed mine out. I'm gonna have to stop doing that. That's wasting paper.
Sorry, my computer's taking a second here to
I understand.
for some reason.
I was thinking, I thought we did these. This seems like, I thought we engrossed these.
The woman, I'm checking now. I think we did. I think these are up
We engrossed all of these are for enrollment. Because I know we did these.
Yeah.
I'm checking
right.
Now. We did.
They're in the folder for enrollment.
Okay, so it says both bills perfected in order to engross. Okay, that's what I'm just looking at the caption, but I'm looking at these like, no, these are enrollment. So I'm sorry, this is enrollment.
Okay, and I think so.
Hold on. I cannot find these in my folders here.
Okay, let me see. I'm gonna go to, I have to mute my video while I go find them. And sometimes you have to refresh. Sometimes if I don't see the stuff, I have to actually refresh and bring it back up.
Sorry, say the number one more time.
It is Board Bill 23.
23.
Now, it's not in, so I just looked at, let's see.
Okay, I found it.
Where did you find it? Because now all of a sudden mine has disappeared.
Yeah, so it's in the folder that says Bills Perfected June 23rd, 2020.
Yes, that's where it is. Okay, I knew I had seen it because I printed them out. I'm like, okay, all right, so I'll give you a minute. These are for engrossment, once again, not enrollment.
I think they're for enrollment, right? You engross them.
Yes, enroll, right. They're for enrollment, not engrossment.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so that's what they're under the wrong heading. Was it announced that way on the agenda?
It's just a little heading because all of them are under the heading board bills for enrollment and or engrossment. So we're fine because our original heading says 5 is for one or the other one, I think, okay?
Okay, because then under that it says board bills for enrollment.
For enrollment, right. And then it's a little thing that says, right.
Okay, it's just in our folders that it's not correct.
Right, right. Alderwoman Green, do you have any questions?
Nope, I do not.
Alderman Todd, do you have any questions?
No, I do not, Madam Chair.
I'd entertain a motion that we enroll Board Bill 23 and pass it out with a due pass recommendation to the full board.
So moved.
Previous roll.
We need a second.
Second.
Previous roll.
Any objections to previous roll? Hearing none, Board Bill number 23 is enrolled and passed out with a due pass recommendation. Board Bill 53, as amended, introduced by Alderwoman Heather Navarro, an ordinance approving the petition of an owner of certain real property to establish a community improvement district, establishing the Forest Park TOD Community Improvement District, finding a public purpose for the establishment of the Forest Park TOD Community Improvement District, and containing an emergency clause and containing a severability clause. Okay, is everybody okay? Alderwoman Green,
Looks
have any
good.
problems?
Nope, looks good to me.
Alderman Todd, do you have any problems with
No,
Board
it
Bill
looks good.
53?
No, I don't have any problem with Board Bill 53.
Okay, I entertain a motion that Board Bill number 53 be passed, be enrolled and passed out with a due pass recommendation.
So moved.
Second.
Previous roll.
Previous roll. Any objection to previous roll? Hearing none, Board Bill 53 is passed out to the full board as enrolled with a due pass recommendation. Board Bill 55, introduced by Alderman Joseph Roddy, an ordinance approving the petition to establish the Iron Hill Community Improvement District, establishing the Iron Hill Community Improvement District as a political division of the state of Missouri, confirming the prior determination that real estate within the Iron Hill Community Improvement District is a blighted area, finding a public purpose for the establishment of the Iron Hill Community Improvement District, approving appointment of the initial board of directors, containing an emergency clause and containing a severability clause. Have any problems with Board Bill 55? Alderwoman Green, still looking?
Yeah, I'm still looking, just making sure all the
Okay.
attachments are here correctly. Looks good to me.
Okay. Did I entertain a motion that Board Bill 55 be enrolled and passed out with a due pass recommendation to the full board?
So moved.
Second.
Previous roll.
Any objection to previous roll? Hearing none, Board Bill 55 is passed out as enrolled with a do pass recommendation. Board Bill 57, introduced by Alderman Christine Ingrassia, an ordinance approving the petition for the creation of the Soccer Stadium Community Improvement District, establishing the Soccer Stadium Community Improvement District as a political subdivision of the state of Missouri, declaring the Soccer Stadium Community Improvement District to be located in a blighted area and containing severability and emergency clause. Alderwoman Green.
Looks good to me.
Alderman Todd.
It looks good to me too.
Okay, normally I would be voting no, but that would make us not have enough votes for this. So I'm going to have to suck it up and entertain a motion and not oppose previous roll. And I'm going to entertain a motion that we pass out Board Bill 57 as enrolled with a do pass recommendation. But when it gets to the floor, I'm voting no. Okay.
So moved.
Second.
Previous roll.
Any objections to previous roll? That big sucking sound you hear is me. Board Bill 57 is enrolled and passed out with a do pass recommendation. The next board bill is Board Bill 65, introduced by Alderman John Coatar, Alderwoman Christine Ingrassia, Alderman Dan Guenther, Alderman Tom Oldenburg, Alderwoman Sarah Martin, Alderman Brett Narayan, Alderwoman Megan Green. It's an ordinance amending Section 2, paragraph 14.01.130 of Ordinance 69346 to permit drink license holders to sell intoxicating beverages not in their original package for consumption on or off the licensed premises, and amending Section 2, paragraph 14.01.390 of Ordinance 68536 to permit licensed restaurants or bars to sell intoxicating beverages for consumption on or off the licensed premises, and amending Section 4, paragraph 14.03.040 of Ordinance 68536 to permit Sunday drink license holders to sell intoxicating beverages for consumption on or off the licensed premises, and amending Section 1 of Ordinance 68786 to permit licensed persons to sell intoxicating beverages at retail not in their original packages, and amending Section 4, paragraph 14.05.125 of Ordinance 68536 to permit the refilling of liquor and amending section 6, paragraph 14.05.140 of ordinance 68536 to create an exception to the prohibition on the sale of intoxicating beverages to persons in an automobile and containing a sunset clause. So excuse me just a minute. I just got a message from Alderman Vaccaro that he was took out the meeting completely. Please, I did not ask for him to be taken out the meeting. So if you have him not in the meeting, please bring him back. I want all committee members to have access to the meeting. I'm going to tell him to try to log out and come back on. I was just asking that he be muted, not taken out of the meeting. So just a minute while I try to get him back in. Okay, is Alderman Vaccaro back in the meeting? He said he was taken out.
It does not appear that he's back as of yet. Why don't we give him another minute?
Right, okay. He says he needs a new login. Is there someone that can send Alderman Vaccaro a new login? I'm not going to do anything else until he gets back into the committee.
It was just sent a minute ago.
All right, thank you.
Apparently I was kicked out of the meeting.
I don't know who did that. I don't have that power, Alderman. Okay, are you okay? Alderman Vaccaro, back okay now?
Yeah, I mean, you said for them to kick me out or mute me out, and they took me out.
I did not say for them to kick you out. I said to mute your mic. I did not say kick out. I don't even know that they could do that. So that was not my request. You should stop saying things that are not true.
Well, somehow I was taken out.
Well, I don't know what, I've been taken out before. I've been taken out of my meeting before and had to boot back up. So I don't know what that is, but we stopped everything once I knew that you were out. And so we are now on agenda item, let's see, which one did we just do? We just did, because I stopped everything. I did not want you to be left out of anything. We just did the stadium. Oh, no, we're doing the liquor license right now, which is ordinance.
Board Bill 65.
Okay, yes, 55.
65.
65, okay. Okay, I want to get a minute. It's on page, it's on a couple of pages, I think. Okay, this is 3 of 8, 4 of 8, 8 of 8, 7 of 8. Okay, it's Board Bill 65, Alderman. It's on page 2 of 8, and I will read it again so you will know where we are. It's introduced by Alderman Jack Coatar, Alderwoman Christine Ingrassia, Alderman Dan Guenther, Alderman Thomas Oldenburg, Alderwoman Sarah Martin, Alderman Brett Narayan, Alderwoman Megan Green, an ordinance amending section 2, paragraph 14.01.130 of ordinance 69346 to permit drink license holders to sell intoxicating beverages not in their original package for consumption on or off the licensed premises, and amending Section 2, paragraph 14.01.390 of Ordinance 68536 to permit licensed restaurants or bars to sell intoxicating beverages for consumption on or off the licensed premises, and amending Section 4, paragraph 14.03.040 of Ordinance 68536 to permit Sunday drink license holders to sell intoxicating beverages for consumption on or off the licensed premise, and amending Section 1 of Ordinance 68786 to permit licensed persons to sell intoxicating beverages at retail not in their original packages, and amending Section 4, paragraph 14.05.125 of Ordinance 68536 to permit the refilling of liquor, and amending Section 6, paragraph 14.05.140 of Ordinance 68536 to create an exception to the prohibition on the sale of intoxicating beverages to persons in an automobile and containing a sunset clause. And that was, we're enrolling these bills right now. And we were looking over them. Alderwoman Green, did you have any problems with this? Have you had a chance to look over it?
Yep, I think it looks good.
Alderman Todd, do you have any problems? Alderman Todd, you got to unmute. You have any problems with Board Bill 65? Yep, you got to unmute. Please leave Alderman Todd unmuted. Okay, Alderman Todd, it keeps going.
Okay, no, I do not. Sorry for the inconvenience, committee.
No problem. And what about you, Alderman Vaccaro, Board Bill 65? Do you have any problems? Do you see any problems with it?
No, I don't. It's fine.
Okay, then I'd entertain a motion that we enroll Board Bill 65 and pass out with a due pass recommendation to the full board.
So moved.
Second. Previous roll.
Any objection to previous roll? Alderman, I wanted to let you know we kept you on roll. If there's no objection to previous roll, Board Bill 65 is enrolled and passed out with a due pass recommendation. Board Bill 66, as amended, is introduced by Alderman John Coatar, Alderwoman Christine Ingrassia, an ordinance submitting to the qualified voters of the City of St. Louis a gross receipt tax to be imposed on telecommunication providers and fiber network providers as set forth herein that are not otherwise currently subject to such taxes, providing for an election to be held therefore, and the manner of voting threat, and upon passage of said ballot measure, an amendment to City of St. Louis Ordinance 67717 as codified in Section 23.34.020 of the Revised Code of the City of St. Louis and Section 23.34.010 through 23.34.030 of the Revised Code of the City of St. Louis, reflecting gross receipt tax to be imposed as approved by the voters of the City of St. Louis.
Looks good to me.
Alderman Todd, you have any problems or questions?
No, I don't have any problems or questions, Madam Chair.
Alderman Vaccaro.
No, I have none.
Okay, then I'd entertain a motion to pass out Board Bill 66 as amended, as enrolled, and a due pass recommendation to the full board.
So moved.
Second. Previous roll.
Objections to previous roll? Hearing none, Board Bill 66 as amended is passed out as enrolled, and a due pass recommendation to the full board. Board Bill number 14, introduced by Alderwoman Tamika Hubbard, an ordinance authorizing and directing the mayor and comptroller of the City of St. Louis to execute upon receipt and in consideration of the sum of $10 and other goods and valuable consideration, a quit claim deed to remise, release, and forever quit claim into the Board of Education certain city-owned property located in City Block 0362, which property is known and numbered as 1100 Monroe Street, St. Louis, Missouri, 63106, and 1101 Madison Street, St. Louis, Missouri, 63106 in the city of St. Louis, Missouri.
This is Board Bill 14, correct?
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
Did I say?
Yeah, just
that's what I thought I said.
Had to switch between folders, so wanted to make sure I was looking.
Okay. Do you have any problems with Board Bill number 14, Alderwoman Green? Are you still looking?
Yep, looks good to me.
Okay, Alderman Todd?
No, I don't have
Any problems? Alderman Vaccaro?
No problem.
Okay, I'd entertain a motion that Board Bill 14 be engrossed and passed out with a due pass recommendation to the full board.
So moved.
Second.
Previous roll.
Any objections to previous roll? Hearing none, Board Bill 14 is enrolled and passed out with a due pass recommendation to the full board. Next is Board Bill 17, introduced by Alderwoman Carol Howard, an ordinance approving a blighting study and redevelopment plan for the 4500 to 4510 South Kings Highway Boulevard redevelopment area.
Everything looks in order to me.
Okay. Alderman Todd, you have any questions or concerns?
No, I don't have any concerns.
Alderman McCall, you have any questions or concerns?
No.
Okay, here, I'd entertain a motion that Board Bill 17 be enrolled and passed out with a due pass recommendation to the full board.
So moved.
Second. Previous roll.
Any objection to previous roll? Hearing none, Board Bill 17 is enrolled and passed out to the full board with a due pass recommendation. The next board bill we have is Board Bill 18, introduced by Alderwoman Howard. It's an ordinance approving a blighting study and redevelopment plan for 4314 Itasca Street redevelopment area.
In order to me.
All right, Alderman Todd, do you have any problems with Board Bill number 18?
No, I don't have any problem, Madam Chair.
Alderman Vaccaro, any problems with Board Bill number 18?
No.
Okay, I'd entertain a motion that Board Bill 18 be enrolled and passed out with a due pass recommendation to the full board.
So moved.
Second. Previous roll.
Any objections to previous roll? Hearing none, Board Bill 18 is enrolled and passed out with a due pass recommendation. Board Bill number 19, introduced by Alderman Joseph Vollmer, an ordinance improving a redevelopment plan for 5633, 5637 Botanical Avenue. For the, okay, where's the next page? Oh, here it is. Section, section 99,300 to 99.715 inclusive, finding that, seems like something dropped off of here, but okay. Finding that financial aid may be necessary to enable the area to redevelop in accordance, oops, that's the wrong, is that right? No, that's not, I guess, I'm sorry. Board Bill 19 just says an ordinance approving a redevelopment plan for the 5633 through 5637 Botanical Avenue. There's no more. Sorry about the rest of it.
Looks in order to me.
Okay. What about you, Alderman Todd?
It looks good to me.
Alderman Vaccaro?
I'm fine.
Then I entertain a motion that Board Bill number 19 be enrolled and passed out with the due pass recommendation to the full board.
So moved.
Second, previous roll.
Any objection to previous roll? Hearing none, board bill number 19 is enrolled and passed out with a due pass recommendation to the full board. The next thing we have is board bill number 30, an ordinance approved by the redevelopment plan dated January 21st, 2020 for 3603 Cass Avenue, and it's introduced by Alderwoman Marlene Davis.
Alderwoman, I have I think a point of order. I just had a constituent message me and say that there was not proper notice given for a bunch of these bills that we are engrossing right now for 17, 18, 19, 30, 31, 33, 34, 35, 40, 48, 54, 56, and 59.
And what is, that it was not properly placed before the, on a bulletin board or something?
That there wasn't, that what they emailed me is that there wasn't the required public notice given.
Okay, I'm glad to refer to the clerk, Madam Clerk.
So I'm not sure when these were passed out of committee and when they were placed on the agenda.
So it's the question when they were perfected?
Okay, and then I have to go back because I'm continuing to enroll and I'm looking at this list, and maybe these were the ones that we should have been engrossing.
Yes, so our
okay
folders seem to be messed up, and things
okay
that are supposed to be enrolling are listed as engrossing.
Madam Clerk, can you help us some?
Give me just a second.
Thank you. So starting with board bill number 9, 10, 11, I thought we did
No,
those
starting with 17.
Okay, start with 17.
So the daily public record says that public testimony was allowed, but apparently it wasn't. And so while our rules don't specifically say that they have to take public testimony, if it is said that it is allowed and then wasn't, I think that's what the person is.
Okay, I see that Mr. Clerk is on board, online.
I didn't hear the question.
Okay, Alderwoman, would you restate what your concern is?
I had a constituent that just messaged me saying that they thought that there that a bunch of these bills today were not properly noticed because the daily record says that public testimony was allowed, but there was no public testimony allowed on these
which
bills.
bill? Are these some of the development bills?
Yeah, so 17, 18, 19, 30, 31, 33, 34, 35.
From neighborhood development?
Yes.
Or from HUD? Because they were posted, they're posted with a notice that people can make public comment.
But I think that what the person is saying is that they weren't allowed to testify, even though it said that they could.
Oh, okay. We'd have to see what meeting that was and all of that. But all that were posted. In fact, today, as you know, when there's a public hearing, may I continue, Madam Chairwoman?
Yes, I wanted you to, please, I'm sorry.
Okay. Yeah, we posted, and it says that they are supposed to send in the information, their email address, phone number, address, because that's required by the rules. And a list is created and supplied to the chair. So I don't know if it was one of those. The other way it's done is that a chair just simply asks, does anybody have anything to say? And they're pulled out of the attendees list and allowed to speak. So it would depend upon the meeting.
Let me see if I can find that out.
And Mr. Clerk, I think I just made a mistake. I think from 9 through 10 and 11, those were supposed to be engrossed, not enrolled, right?
So it was the 623.
Okay, finish with her. I'm sorry, Mr. Clerk. I interrupted. You can't do 15 things at once. So finish with Alderwoman Green's concern.
Yeah, it was the 623 meeting for neighborhood development.
Okay. So the question would be whether or not people were allowed to testify on the bills?
Yes, because it says parties interested may appear and sign up to speak before the Neighborhood Development Committee of the Board of Aldermen, is what the—
I can barely hear you, Alderwoman, I'm sorry.
Sorry, the Daily Record says that that parties interested may appear and sign up to speak before the Neighborhood Development Committee of the Board of Aldermen. And so I guess the concern that I have from a constituent is that they wanted to testify on this, and it said that they could, and then were not given the opportunity.
Okay. I believe that if all of that was the case, I have to go back and look. You know?
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So can we put that aside, because we got a lot of stuff on the calendar? We won't address these right now. And I think we have to go back, because I think we enrolled these and we should have engrossed. So can you check that? I think that started with the 26th, the 9, 10, 11, 12 anyway should have been engrossed, not enrolled.
I think starting with 14 should have.
Are we talking about item number or the board bill number?
Yeah, the board, there's no, look at the board.
Item number. I'm talking about the item numbers.
On the agenda.
Yeah, the item numbers.
You said,
where should we have been engrossing?
According to the file that I had from last week, we engrossed, and it says motion to engross and will remain in committee to be enrolled. Board bill 23, 50, 55.
I can't hear you. You went in and out. You're going in and out. Try again.
23.
Okay.
As amended.
Okay.
5. 57 as amended.
Okay.
5.
Okay.
As amended. 14. 17. 18. 19.
Okay.
30. 30.
Okay. Right.
33.
Right.
34.
Correct.
35.
Okay.
40.
Right.
48. 49 as amended. 52. 54. 56. 59. 62 as amended.
And those are all the ones that we engrossed last week.
Yes. Yes.
And so they should be enrolled.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so we haven't got to the point where we won't get to the point until item number 26 that we engrossed. That would be Board Bill 32.
Yes.
Page 6 of 8.
Yeah.
Is that correct? Okay, so, we enrolled 17, 18, and 19, but now there's a question about those. Is that right, Alderwoman Green?
Yes, the thing that was just brought to my attention was that there was a public notice that said that people could testify, that the person said that they emailed to testify on the bill were told that they were not allowed to, which contradicts the public meeting notice on it.
Okay, so were they trying to testify for each of these bills? Because the bills that I heard you say were 17, 18, 19, 30, 31, 33, and 35. Is that correct?
34, 40, 48, 54, 56, and 59. So I think all the development bills.
Remember, some are in HUDs and some are in neighborhood development. So
I'm not sure.
you have to identify them.
We can move forward. I just, felt a responsibility to kind of bring that forward, and we need to figure out like what are our process. I know that meeting virtually has a lot of complications, because normally somebody would just show up to a hearing room and the chair would say, is there anybody here to speak on this? And if we're not able to do that, and it just seems like there's, sometimes contradictory information about whether people can testify on things or not. And I think getting some standardized process, regardless of who the chair is of that committee, could be helpful.
Go ahead, Mr. Clark.
Thank you, Madam Chair. There is this is a learning curve.
Yeah.
And so there's a process that had to be evolved in relationship to the medium that's being used. And so that is established and is in place to be able to both fulfill the requirements of the rules of the Board of Aldermen, as well as the medium in which it's used. What ultimately evolved was, because when it first started out, you get on here and a chair could ask a question if somebody wanted to testify, and then the communications division would try to identify that person based upon their phone number, email address, and get them into the meeting. Well, that didn't even satisfy or fulfill the requirements of the board, because a list is supposed to be created and submitted to the chair at least a half an hour before the meeting starts. So what we ultimately established, and it's been for some time now, is that in the notice, we say you need to email your information in, or if you don't have email, you can call it in, and we give the phone number, and we get the person's name, the email, if we have their name and email address, and they're sent the link. If it's a phone number, then we identify the phone number when it comes time to their name on the list, and they're called. That person is called. But there's also not only a learning curve with this that happened with the staff, there's one with the chairs of committees as well. So different committee chairs, a capacity to handle it has been different than one another, and that has grown as well. So it might have been caught in one of those time periods where it was not as clear even to chairs on how to do this in this medium. Could have been.
Okay.
But they still have access. It just might not have been as clear that they had access.
Right. Right.
Because sometimes chairs forget to adjourn the meeting. Or chairs have forgotten chairs have officially forgotten to open up the meeting. They just start. So some of it depends upon the skill level of the chair as that evolves as well. That could have happened.
Okay, Alderwoman.
That's all.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk.
Okay.
Thank you. So, Alderwoman, I'm not comfortable holding up every bill. If the person came to do a specific bill, and if they got proof that they were told they couldn't testify, then I would be comfortable with a specific bill. But did they send you anything saying anything specific? Any specific bill?
Here. No, I don't have anything with that. So I would say,
Okay.
we don't need to hold these up. Just, constituent asks something,
Sure.
feel like I have
So
to.
this is what I want you to send back. Right. I want you to send back that if they feel like they have not been heard, if they request to come before our committee, I will still let them testify. I believe you should not quiet down people, and they should be able to talk. So if they didn't get if they didn't get a hearing anyplace else, if they really want to come, they can still come before our committee. So you can tell them that, okay?
Okay. I appreciate
All right. And if they have something specific, if they have a complaint, if they specifically say it, I would hold that bill. But I just can't hold all of these bills.
Yeah. All right.
Mr. Clerk, you had anything else?
Even the chair of that committee would probably, do that as well if necessary.
Right. Right.
But there was also early on some unclarity between information coming from SLDC and the board as to what bills should be publicly heard and which should not. So but all of that has smoothed itself out over time. But it was really rocky early on, I can tell you.
Okay.
Very rocky.
So yes, it is. Let's get back to, so we did item 12, board bill number 19, and we were at item 13, board bill 30. Is that where we were, Madam Clerk? Right. And did you have any problems with that bill, Alderwoman Green?
I am looking at it right now.
All right.
So it looks in order to me.
Okay. Alderman Todd, do you have any questions, concerns about board bill number 30?
No, I don't have any questions, Madam Chair.
Alderman Vaccaro.
I have no question.
Okay, I'd entertain a motion that board bill number 30 be enrolled and passed out with a due pass recommendation to the full board.
So moved.
A second. Previous roll.
Any objections to previous roll? Hearing none, board bill number 30 is passed out with a due pass recommendation. Board bill number 31, introduced by Alderman Joseph Roddy, an ordinance approving a redevelopment plan dated January 21st, 2020 for the 1417 through 1433 Tower Grove Avenue area.
good to me.
Okay. Alderman Todd, you have any problems with Board Bill 31?
No, Madam Chair.
Alderman Vaccaro?
No, I have no problem.
Okay, then I entertain a motion that Board Bill 31 be passed out with as enrolled with a due pass recommendation.
So moved.
Second. Previous roll.
Any objection to previous roll? Hearing none, we pass out Board Bill 31 as enrolled and with a due pass recommendation to the full board. Next board bill we have before us is Board Bill 33 by Alderman Dan Guenther. It's an ordinance approving a redevelopment plan dated January 21st, 2020 for the 3535 through 3537 Missouri Avenue area in the city of St. Louis after finding that the area is blighted as defined in section 99.320 of the revised statutes of Missouri 216 as amended. The statute being section 99.300 to 99.715 inclusive, excuse me, finding that there will be available 5-year tax abatement based on 50% of the assessed value of the incremental improvements of 3535 through 3537 Missouri Avenue and pledging cooperation of the board.
Looks good to me.
Just a minute. Okay. All righty. Okay, Alderman Todd, you have any problems with Board Bill 33?
No, I don't have any problem, Madam Chair.
Alderman Vaccaro, any problems with Board Bill 33?
Although I'm still trying to see it, but I'm fine.
Oh, okay, no, everybody has a chance to look at them.
So I don't want to delay it because I am going to be in that meeting at 1, so no, I'm fine.
Okay, if hearing no problems, I'd entertain a motion that Board Bill number 33 be enrolled and passed out with a due pass recommendation.
So moved.
Second. Previous roll.
Objection to previous roll. Hearing none, Board Bill 33 is enrolled and passed out with a due pass recommendation to the full board. Board Bill 34, introduced by Alderman Jesse Todd, it's an ordinance approving a redevelopment plan dated February 25th, 2020 for the 811 through 817 North Kings Highway Boulevard in the city of St. Louis after finding that the area is blighted as defined in section 99.320 of the revised statutes of Missouri 2016 as amended, the statute being 99.30 to 99.715 inclusive, finding that there will be available 10-year tax abatement based on 95% of the assessed value of the incremental improvements for 811 through 817 North Kings Highway Boulevard and pledging cooperation of the Board of Aldermen.
Looks good to me.
Okay, Alderman Todd, you have any questions or concerns?
No, I don't have any concerns, Madam Chair.
I'm kind of concerned about that alderman, but okay, that's fine. All right, Alderman Vaccaro, you have any questions or concerns?
Oh,
Okay, then I'd entertain a motion that Board Bill 34 be enrolled and passed out with a due pass recommendation to the full board. I need a motion.
Oh,
I'd entertain a motion.
so moved. I was looking at the next bill.
Second,
I need a second.
second, previous roll.
Any objections to previous roll? Hearing none, Board Bill 634 is passed out as enrolled with a due pass recommendation. The next one is Board Bill 35, introduced by Alderman Jesse Todd, an ordinance approving a redevelopment plan dated February 25th, 2020 for the 5143. You need a, okay. Alderman Vaccaro says he needs a new login. Did you just send me another message, Alderman?
Oh, he's
no, I
still
did
there.
not. I'm here.
Okay, okay. All of a sudden it popped up. Okay. Okay. So, which one was 35? It's the one we just did. Okay, 35 and Board Bill 35, introduced by Alderman Jesse Todd, an ordinance improving a redevelopment plan dated February 25th, 2020, plan for the 5143 Delmar Boulevard area in the city of St. Louis after finding that the area is blighted as defined in section 99.320 of the revised statutes of Missouri 2016 as amended. The statute being section 99.300 to 99.715 inclusive, finding that there should be available 10-year tax abatement based on 95% of the assessed values of the incremental improvements for 5143 Delmar Boulevard and pledging cooperation of the Board of Aldermen.
Looks good to me.
What about yourself, Alderman Todd?
I don't have any problem, Madam Chair. Looks good.
And what about you, Alderman Vaccaro?
Well, actually, I'm going to vote no because I don't want to use previous roll, and I believe it takes 4 to make a quorum, and I'm going to be leaving. I don't want my name put on something that I'm not going to be here to vote for, and I have to prepare for the full board meeting. So I'm voting no for that particular purpose because I don't want my name on anything that I'm not here to vote for. And we do have a full board meeting coming up shortly.
Okay, that's fine. You can vote no. And the quorum is not 4, it's 3, but I don't, you know, I ask people.
I think since I've been added, it's 4. But maybe I'm wrong. And if I'm wrong, that's fine. But I don't
You're
believe
wrong,
I'm wrong.
but you are, but that's okay because I don't want your name on anything you don't want anyway. And I'm a stickler for that, okay? So anyway, do you have any problems with it? So I know you're going to vote no.
I don't have a problem with it. No.
Okay. Okay, then I'd entertain a motion that Board Bill number 35 be enrolled and passed out with a due pass recommendation.
So moved.
Second,
Madam Clerk, there's been a call. You want a roll call, Alderman?
I do want a roll call.
Okay, there's been a call for a roll call vote. And so, would you please call the roll?
Alderman Vaccaro,
No.
Alderwoman Howard, Alderwoman Green,
Aye.
Alderman Todd,
Aye.
Chairwoman Tyus.
Aye.
3 aye votes and 1 no vote.
Alderman, I'm going to bring up something to you. The CARES Act is coming up, so do you want to stay so you can have a yes vote on that or no?
Which one's coming up? Oh, the CARES Act? Yeah, I'll stay for that.
Yes. That's coming up in 2 votes, okay?
Okay.
That's okay. I covered you. Okay.
Okay. I wish you would cover me on my Bill 29.
And you know what? We may come back to that.
Well, I really.
Okay, so okay, come on, let us move along so we can get this thing going. Okay, by your vote, you've enrolled Board Bill 35 and passed out with a due pass recommendation to the full board. Now we have Board Bill number 40, introduced by Alderwoman Heather Navarro. It's an ordinance approving a blighting study and redevelopment plan for the 5078, 5080 to 5090 Delmar Boulevard redevelopment area, after finding that the area is blighted as defined in section 99.320 of the revised statute of Missouri 216 as amended, the statute being section 99.300 to 99.715 inclusive, finding that financial aid may be necessary to enable the area to be redeveloped in accordance with the plan, finding that there should be available 10-year tax assurance, and pledging cooperation of the Board of Aldermen and requesting various officials, department boards, and cities of the city to cooperate and exercise their respective powers in a manner consistent with the plan.
Looks good to me.
How about you, Alderman Todd?
This looks good to me too.
Yourself, Alderman Vaccaro?
No, I'm fine.
Okay. Then I'd introduce a motion that Board Bill number 40 be passed out with the due pass passed out as enrolled with the due pass recommendation to the full board.
So moved.
Second. Previous roll.
Objection to previous rolls because Alderman Vaccaro wants to go on for the next couple of ones and then he'll vote no. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Actually, I'm fine with previous roll. I'll wait till I get past the case. The closer it gets to the meeting is when I want to make sure I'm not on there.
Okay, but previous roll has you no right now.
Oh, yeah,
so you want to stay no?
Okay, you're right. No.
Okay. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Alderman Vaccaro.
Aye.
Alderwoman Howard. Alderwoman Green.
Aye.
Alderman Todd.
Aye.
Chairwoman Tyus.
Aye.
4 aye votes.
By your vote, you've enrolled and made a due pass recommendation to Board Bill number 40 to the full board. Okay, and the next thing we have is Board Bill number 48, introduced by Alderwoman Shameen Clark-Hubbard. It's an ordinance approving a blighting study and redevelopment plan for 310 DeVolver Avenue redevelopment area.
looks good to me.
Okay, what about you, Alderman Todd?
It looks good to me too.
What about you, Alderman Vaccaro?
I'm fine.
Okay. I'd entertain a motion that we pass Board Bill 48 out as enrolled with a due pass recommendation to the full board.
So moved.
Second, previous roll.
Any objection to previous roll? Hearing none, Board Bill number 48 is passed out with a due pass recommendation to the full board as enrolled. Board Bill number 49, as amended, introduced by Joseph Vollmer and Alderwoman Marlene Davis, an ordinance recommended by the Board of Estimate and Apportionment, wherein the Board of Aldermen authorizes the receipt and appropriates funds under the CARES Act, the Federal Emergency Management Act Grant Program, the Bureau of Justice Assistance Coronavirus Emergency Supplemental Funding Program, the Community Development Block Grant Program, the Emergency Solutions Grant Program, and the Housing Opportunities for People with AIDS and Ryan White Grant Program, all related to the COVID-19 pandemic and containing an emergency clause. This is the famous board bill that I was accused of holding up that's been in our committee all of 7 days. And I was mean to myself because I said we were going to have a first hearing. We're actually getting ready to enroll it. So that's funny how people just put out misinformation. Saying all of that, I want you to take a close look at it, and then I'd entertain a motion if people, when people had a minute to look at it. If you don't find any problems, then we will look at enrolling it.
It looks good to me.
Alderman Todd.
Looks good to me too.
Alderman Vaccaro. Alderman Vaccaro, you muted all of a sudden.
No, I said I'm fine. That's fine. I'm good, yes.
Okay. I'd entertain a motion that Board Bill number 49 as amended be passed out as enrolled with a due pass recommendation.
So moved.
Second, previous roll.
Any objection to previous roll? Hearing none, Board Bill 49 as amended, which is known as the CARES Act, is passed out to the full board as enrolled with a due pass recommendation. Okay, thank you. Now, Alderman, do you want to get off the roll now, or you want to stay?
Well,
Alderman Vaccaro.
if you're going to bring up mine, I'll stay till we do. I really do have to sign into that meeting. I would really ask if we just could get it back to the full board. And I understand if you want to vote against it. It's just the timeline.
So, Alderman, let me tell you this. I promise you, I called to find out the timeline. Okay. I'm giving you my word.
But isn't you can tell me.
I promise you, I will talk off of this thing and tell you I already found out the timeline. Because you're talking about November, right?
Right, but we won't be back. Our session ends Friday.
We're having a special meeting next week. Remember?
We may or we may not, but our session ends Friday, and I have to have this on the ballot. I have to have it by August, or I have to go to court to have it ordered on them. I would appreciate if we could get this out today.
I understand. I understand. I really do. And so I'll take that with the committee at the end of committee. We're going to come back around to that, okay? So then we'll have a conversation, okay? So if you need to go, you go. We are going to continue our work because our rules is already set for this. The president put another meeting behind ours, but ours has been Wednesday afternoons, and we have to finish with our agenda. So tell me if you want to get off or not.
Well, what I think I'm going to do is get my iPad and sign into both meetings at the same time, because I certainly would like to discuss 29.
Okay, but let us move on. Let us move on, okay? Okay, let us move on. All right, the next board bill is Board Bill number 52, introduced by President Lewis Reed and Alderman Joseph Vollmer, an ordinance recommended by the Board of Estimate and Apportionment, authorizing a supplemental appropriation amending ordinance 70963 commonly referred to as the City of St. Louis Annual Operating Plan for the fiscal year 2019 through 2020, appropriate and setting apart special funds revenue to address projected shortfall revenue in the general funds for the current fiscal year in the amount of $6,676,888, as herein detailed and contained in an emergency clause.
Looks good to me.
Alderman Todd,
Look
any
good.
problems?
No problems, Madam Chair.
Alderman Vaccaro.
No problem.
Okay, then I'd entertain a motion that Board Bill 52 being enrolled and with a due pass recommendation to the full board. I need a motion.
So moved.
Second, previous roll.
Any objection to previous roll? Hearing none, Board Bill 52 is passed out as enrolled with a due pass recommendation. We now are going to Board Bill 54, introduced by Alderwoman Marlene Davis, an ordinance approving a redevelopment plan dated May 26, 2020 for the 3306 Washington Boulevard area.
Looks good to me.
What about you, Alderman Todd? Any problems?
No problem.
Alderman Vaccaro, any problems?
No problem.
Okay, I'd entertain a motion for Board Bill 54 to be enrolled and passed out with a due pass recommendation.
So moved.
Second, previous roll.
Any objection to previous roll? Hearing none, Board Bill 54 is enrolled and passed out with a due pass recommendation. Next is Board Bill 23. Board Bill 56, introduced by Alderwoman Carol Howard, an ordinance approving a blighting study and redevelopment plan for 4635 and 4627 Ridgewood Avenue redevelopment area.
Looks good to me.
Alderman Todd, any problems?
No problems.
Alderman Vaccaro, any problems?
No problem.
Okay, I'd entertain a motion that Board Bill 56 be passed out as enrolled with a due pass recommendation. Motion.
So moved.
Second, previous roll.
In objection to previous roll, hearing none, Board Bill 56 is enrolled and passed out with a due pass recommendation. Next one is Board Bill 59, introduced by Alderwoman Kara Spencer, an ordinance approving a redevelopment plan dated April 21st, 2020 for, it says 3919 and 3920 Minnesota Avenue area.
Looks good to me.
Alderman Todd, any problem?
No problem.
Alderman Vaccaro, any problems?
No problem.
Okay, I'd entertain a motion that Board Bill 59 be enrolled and passed out with a due pass recommendation.
So moved.
Second, previous roll.
Any objection to previous roll? Hearing none, Board Bill 59 is passed out as enrolled with a due pass recommendation to the full board. Board Bill number 63, committee substitute as amended, introduced by President Lewis Reed, Alderwoman Marlene Davis, Alderwoman Shameen Clark-Hubbard, Alderman John Muhammad, Alderwoman Lisa Middlebrook, Alderwoman Tamika Hubbard, Alderman Brandon Bosley, Alderman Tom Oldenburg, Alderman Jesse Todd, Alderwoman Pam, it should be Boyd in there. You keep leaving out the Boyd, Alderman Brett Narayan. An ordinance directing the Commissioner of Police to amend the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department Use of Force Policy Special Order SO1-01 issued April 16, 2014 to include a ban on officers from using a chokehold or stranglehold as a use of force method, a requirement for officers to use de-escalation tactics when appropriate and possible in place of use of force tactics, to establish a duty to intervene policy and include comprehensive reporting requirements and containing a severability and an emergency clause.
Just a very small thing. In section 2, the B and C bullets are not in the same place as the A bullet.
Okay, let me look at that. Madam Clerk, is that something we could correct? Do we have Mr. Clerk, Madam Clerk?
Yeah,
Mr. Clerk.
Clerk. I don't look as good as,
Mr. Clerk.
I may not look as good as she does, but I'm here.
You're much more handsome to me.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, what was the problem?
I think it's just a small like indentation thing. In section 1, there's bullet points for A, B, and C. A is delineated, but B and C are put in the paragraphs.
I have to step out for about 2 minutes. I'll be back.
Oh, okay. I see what you're speaking of.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That can be corrected.
Okay, will you correct that, please, for me?
Yeah.
Okay, because I was going to print out and sign and run things down. I'm not going to be able to get them down to the board with my signatures by the time the board starts. I want you to know that now. Okay. So I'll get them down as soon as I can. Okay, with that correction.
Yeah, the same.
Go ahead.
The same things in section 2, the same issue.
Right, on B.
Yeah, in section 1, B and C are indented, and then in section 2, also B and C are indented. But for the rest of the sections, it all seems to be correct.
That can be corrected and sent to you.
Okay. Everything else looks good to me.
What about you, Alderman Todd?
Everything looks good to me too.
Okay, and Alderman Vaccaro stepped away for a minute. I'd entertain a motion for Board Bill number 63, committee substitute as amended, to be engrossed and passed out with a due, I'm sorry, to be enrolled and passed out with a due pass recommendation.
So moved.
Second. Previous roll.
Previous roll. Objection to previous roll. Hearing none. Board Bill 63 is enrolled and passed out with a due pass recommendation to the full committee. I'd like to take a break right now to decide what we're going to do. So if we could stop the meeting, we just really need to know if we want to recess for and go to the full board of what we want to do. So if we could take a 5-minute recess, I'd appreciate it while we discuss that.
You're muted. I cannot hear you.
Alderwoman Tice, you're muted.
You have to unmute it, please.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay. So I'm just asking the committee what we wanted to do, because there is a full board meeting starting in the middle of our committee.
We are still recording. Are we supposed to be recording?
Oh.
Let me call them. Are we still recording?
I mean, it's flashing up in my corner that it's recording.
Right.
Yes, the meeting is still being underway. I thought we were going to take a break, as in mute the mics while information is being sought.
Okay, so so we were trying to have a discussion, a 5-minute break off the camera. We can't do that, I take it.
If I press pause or stop the meeting, the whole meeting will stop.
Oh, okay. Well, then we'll just have to discuss that on camera if you guys don't matter. And it's just a matter of what we want to do. We had our meeting scheduled. We can continue with our meeting, or if there are if you feel like that you would prefer to go to the full board, that's what we can do too. And we can do a recess and come back. Go ahead, Alderwoman Green. You're the vice chair.
I think I'd just like us to adjourn so that we can go to this meeting.
Okay, and I want to look at calendars because I don't want to get in trouble with the calendar. Hold on just a minute. And so we still have to do engrossment. But these were sent over on the 29th of June. And so we need to recess and come back. So we can do just engrossment. We don't have to do anything else, but we need to. So if we're going to go to this board meeting, we need to do that. We'll have to come back.
Well, I would.
Donna.
Are we all just open for comments or?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so I guess my issue is that if we don't get this stuff out to the full board even today, then they can't even vote on it today. And that would also be the CARES Act. I mean, tell me if I'm wrong.
No.
Well, we passed the CARES Act. I'm going to run it down, and I have to sign these things. The president should not have put this meeting. We always have our meeting on Wednesday. That has nothing to do with us. That's on him. If I was him, I would push the full board meeting back some and let us do our business. But right now, what I'm saying is that we can, these other bills didn't come in here in time enough to be done anyway. I do want to get the bills that were in time in place, okay? And I can't actually, so I was asking that we, wait a minute, hold on, that we take a recess and come back. But I hear what your concern is, okay?
Right.
And I'll tell you again, it is already scheduled that we're gonna have more meetings. You keep saying that, but he's already scheduling us for more meetings.
But you have said that these are illegal meetings.
And he's gonna have it anyway. You said you're going to them. They are illegal. Did you read my letter?
I did, and I have a different understanding. My understanding is that whenever we take the vote at the end of the meeting to go to the next meeting, when we all say aye, that automatically allows the meeting. It would take majority to disagree with the next meeting. Well, these are from our attorney.
No, well, our attorney is wrong because our rules specifically say you have to do a special, read the part, you have to do a special motion. So I want to get into an argument about you, but you can't just say, that's not a special motion. You have to, but that's okay. That's argument, and I'm not going to get into that. So if you're comfortable with that, then we have no problem in recessing. Excuse me. Then, if you're comfortable and that is your understanding, and I'm sure the president is going to go right ahead, then I want to recess and for us to come back and address issues. Okay, that's what I'm saying. If you're saying that the rules, if you're saying the meeting is legal, then we have no problem.
And I'm saying,
okay, go ahead.
I would please ask, and I say please, and I'll say please.
I understand.
Ask that we vote 29 out today.
Okay, so then this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put it out to the committee what they want to do, and so if the committee wants to go back up here and look at the enrollment of Board Bill 29. Which is the wait a minute, Alderman, don't step on me when I'm trying to give you a chance, okay? All right, thank you. If the committee wants to go back up and do the enrollment for Board Bill 29, it's the ordinance submitted to the qualified voters of the City of St. Louis, a proposal to revise Section 2 of Article 8 of the City of St. Louis Charter, which requires city employees to reside within the boundaries of the City of St. Louis and thus allow said employees, except for city agencies and department directors appointed by the mayor, to reside outside of the boundaries of the City of St. Louis, and providing for an election to be held for voting on the proposed revision and the manner of voting therein, and for the publication, certificate, deposit, and recording of this ordinance and containing an emergency clause, then I will entertain a motion to pass enroll Board Bill 29 and pass it out of committee. I'm not going to vote for it. I'm going to object and vote no, but the committee is free. If you want to make the motion, and the committee is free to act on their own will.
I'm sorry, I will make that motion, and please encourage, 20 aldermen have voted for this. Please, let's get it out so that the aldermen can make a decision. So I would ask that Megan or whoever would make a second, and that we can move forward with this. And so I will make that motion. And I see, unless everybody's muted, I see I'm getting no response.
Okay, so did we give you a chance, Alderman?
Yeah, I get it. They're going to do whatever you want to do. I hope that. Well, I'm
okay, and I want to also.
I will leave
and I also want to read. Okay, Alderman, I want to read into the record. I got a text from from our counselor. He said he has not commented on whether today's meeting complied with the board's rules. It is not his job to comment.
Is Terry Kennedy on the line with us?
Alderman, please, you cannot run my committee. I gave you a chance. You did not get a second. It is up to the committee. So when you run out there, I've been very vocal, said I'm opposed to this. Okay, so you had your chance. So you don't say
everybody would treat. I would treat everybody as fairly as you're treating me in this meeting, which Jesse and them you're just not treating me very fair, but that's fine. If that's the way.
I'm not treating you. Oh, Alderman, you're not being treated fair because people vote in their conscience.
The rules.
Okay.
The committee.
Okay, Alderman, we're going to go on. Okay, because I brought it back up for you, which I said I will. I will bring it back up when we have a meeting next Wednesday. Okay, I will bring it back up. It will not stay in our committee 30 days. I will promise you that. We have 30 days. I will do that. Okay.
Well, I just.
But we have to go on.
Okay, and I'm going to go into the other meetings. So.
Okay, but I will bring it back up next Wednesday. Okay.
Okay, even though there won't be any meetings after next Wednesday, in a sense, this kills that bill.
Why won't it be any meetings after next Wednesday?
Because there's not even any scheduled.
Okay,
well, trying to get any schedule is going to be near impossible. So if we don't do it today, it kills it. And if that's the intention of this committee to kill the bill, then Megan and you guys have successfully killed what the aldermen have voted for and what the city workers have been asking for. And my personal opinion, that's horrible that you guys would go against 20 of the members of the Board of Aldermen.
Okay.
And you are going to have to be the ones to explain that to all the city workers and everybody else. But I do need to leave.
Okay.
I'm heading to the other.
And so I want to say to you again, I will bring it back up. We have 30 days in our committee. We will get it done by 30 days. If what you're saying is that we should give you special disposition not to follow the rules of how things should be in a calendar, that's not, you should also, no, you're not, you're talking over me. And so I'm going to have you muted again. You should use the calendar and you should look at the agenda and you should know how things work. You've been here for a very long time. And so you make sure you get your things up early enough so that they don't get caught in this time crunch. That's what I would say. And at this point, so all the people, I'm going to say that we are going to recess. We're going to have to come back in here. So anybody wants to go to the full board, they can. We're going to recess and then come back. And what I'm going to do during this time is get the bills that we enrolled. I need to get them to the clerk, okay? And so our recess may be, I don't know, Mr. Clerk, okay? But I'm going to bring the board bills to I don't even know where you are. So are you down at the board or no?
Right now.
No? Okay, so maybe I'll try to get Mr. I'll try to get, okay, and I'll try to get, okay, and I'll also call, not Tom, but what's the other person's, and see if he'll come and meet me there so he can get Maurice. I'll call Maurice and see if I can get what we've done. And so that's what I'll be doing. So we're going to have a recess. We don't know how long it is, but we will come back. I will call all of you all, so you're free to go to the board. I'm not going to be able to come to the board right now because I need to get our business done for what we've gotten done so far. Okay? Is that anybody object? Sure.
You're trying to come back today from recess?
Yes. If we can, we may not be able to.
I think we should just adjourn and schedule another meeting.
So that would have to be two. So why I want to recess, I understand what you're saying.
I'll second her that we adjourn.
Okay, I hear you.
Second.
That's been moved in second. I want to speak to why I'm concerned about that, but okay, if that's what you all want to do. I'm concerned because there's some things that we need to address, but if you want to adjourn, then we will not be able to call another meeting for, what is this? This is Wednesday? The soonest we could call another meeting, what is Friday, Mr. Clerk?
I didn't hear you. Say it again.
So if they want to adjourn, when is the soonest we could call another meeting? Is it Friday afternoon?
You have to have it 24 hours, yes.
Well, tomorrow.
Okay, well, wait a minute, tomorrow after, what is this?
It could be, the problem is there is a 10 o'clock tomorrow, a 1 p.m. and a 3 o'clock.
Okay.
Scheduled for tomorrow.
Okay.
What about 9 or 8?
No, what about Friday afternoon? If we just if we don't adjourn, if we just recess, because I don't know what else to do.
I mean, Friday should work depending upon how long that board meeting goes.
So that's why I'm saying like maybe 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
Is that a problem with anybody?
No.
Okay, so, and we'll bring your thing back up again, Alderman Vaccaro. So Friday at 1 o'clock, we can, well, I'm sorry, there's a motion on the floor to adjourn. Would you rescind your motion, Alderwoman Green?
Well, aren't we still doing that?
In a second.
Sorry, in adjourning until 1 o'clock on Friday?
So I was trying to recess. If you rather just call a new meeting, that's fine.
I'll rescind my second.
Okay.
Okay, is that a,
I mean, it doesn't matter which way we do it. We have enough time to call a new meeting.
okay. I just prefer to recess and continue our meeting, okay? All right.
Hello?
Okay, so I'm hearing somebody.
I'll do a sound check.
Okay. Okay, so who is that?
I'm in the full
Okay.
board meeting on my.
Okay,
Madam
okay,
Chair,
can you mute that just for, yes.
the 3
Yes,
o'clock.
sir, yes, sir, Mr. Clerk.
Yeah, the 3 o'clock tomorrow may not take place, so you may have that space as well, as opposed to Friday afternoon.
Okay, at this point, I know. I'm gonna go with the Friday. I know it gets getting too complicated. It got complicated when they scheduled a meeting before and after us like this. We have had this for a while. And we have tried to be very good at going around people, but people don't go around and respect what we do, and they don't know how many board bills come through here. So we're just gonna go with Friday afternoon at like 1 o'clock, or maybe 2. Is 2 better for people?
I'll be whenever.
I'd rather earlier.
1, Alderman Todd, 1 o'clock Friday?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, so you withdrew your second, and are you withdrawing your motion, Alderwoman Green?
Yes, I withdrew my motion.
Okay, so then we're going to recess until 1 o'clock Friday, July the 10th. Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right, so the rest of you all are free to go to the board. I'm going to try to get this this paperwork to Maurice so that the president can have something to sign. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all coming.